Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. I am James Ham here on the floor of Sleep Train Arena, where the Sacramento Kings knock off the Cleveland Cavaliers by a final of 103-84. This team is all over the board. We have no idea what team is going to come out from one quarter to the next, let alone one game to the next. The Kings are currently 2-1 on their 6-game homestand. They've got Dallas coming in on Tuesday, so they needed this win if they have any chance of climbing out of this hole they're in. Currently, the Kings are 16-21 on the season, only 5 games under 500, which is really shocking considering how poorly they've played of late. Tonight, again, a Jekyll and Hyde performance. You just do not know what is going to come up next with this team. Let's roll to Tyrone Corbin talking about trying to figure out the consistency of this team.
Well, we're working on that. You know, these guys are working their tail off, man, and, you know, tonight was a great indicator of who we can be. The Oklahoma City game was a great indicator of how we can play and have a chance to compete against the top teams in this league, and we just have to look for some more consistency, and these guys are continuing to work, and we're going to continue to push.
The last time Kings came out on Friday against the Denver Nuggets, they got absolutely blasted in the third quarter. They came out so flat and were run off the court. Tonight, they did the same thing to the Cavs in the third. They came out with energy, with passion. They really look like they learned a lesson. Let's go to DeMarcus Cousins talking about learning lessons and where this team needs to go going forward.
Like I said, we just got to come out and be consistent every night. We want to be a defensive team. Those nights where we come out and just try to outscore people, that's not us. We're going to continue to lose games. Most of the time when we clicking, we're playing some good defense as well. So, we're talented offensively. We all know that. But like I said, we'll never win games if we don't defend.
Cousins dominated this game. He picked up his 21st double-double of the season, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, ties a career high, and 3 block shots. He was a beast. The Cavs had no answer for him. Timothy Mozgov had no answer for him. This is one of those games where you saw a new life out of Marcus Cousins. He seems to be finally getting his wind back, which is a really good sight to see. He took a bunch of balls from one end to the next. The Kings pushed the tempo really hard in this game. I think they had 86 field goal attempts. That's something that the Kings are trying to do, but tonight they actually did it. It was a very, very good performance by Cousins. He's hoping to get an all-star spot. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Let's roll to DeMarcus Cousins talking about the potential for him to get an all-star spot coming up next month.
It's out of my hands, honestly. All I can do is control what I can control. I'm not all-star, I'm not all-star. But like I said, it is what it is.
Rudy Gay drops in 23 points for the Kings. He's turning it on. He's got 4 rebounds. He had a very solid performance, but something we've seen out of Rudy the last couple of games, he had only 2 assists tonight. He came into this week averaging a little over 4.5 assists a game. He's got 3 total assists over his last 3 games. The Kings need Rudy to be that secondary guy on the court. They need him to find guys like Darren Collison in the corner, who's really caught fire from that spot. They need him to get Ben McLemore involved. We've seen Ben McLemore's numbers really take a dive over the last week because he's just not getting any shots. And a lot of that, I believe, is on Rudy Gay. He has been a really good distributor for this team and something that he's added to his game this season, but we're seeing a little bit of regression in that spot. Darren Collison, man, again, he loves that corner 3 ball. It's something that we've seen again and again from him over the last 2 weeks. Under the Tyrone Corbin era of Kings basketball, he is on fire. He's shooting nearly 60% from the floor in his last 8 games. Tonight, he has 16 points, 6 assists, doesn't turn the ball over at all, and actually that was the key to tonight's game. The Kings turned the ball over 1 time in the first half and just 5 times total for the game. A very good performance by the Kings. They valued the ball, which is something they don't typically do. They had 20 assists, 5 turnovers. You'll take that ratio any day of the week. Carl Landry came off the bench to give the Kings 11 points and 4 rebounds. Carl's really found his jump shot, which is nice to see. In this up-tempo style, this is not made for Carl Landry. It's a very difficult style to play, but he's found a way to make himself valuable. He's facing up from about 18 to 20 feet and knocking it down almost every single time. The Kings need a bench scorer because this bench is all over the board. One game you get 10 points out of him. Another game you'll get something out of Derek Williams or Nick Stauskas, but no one is consistently giving this team a solid effort off the bench, and that's something that the Kings really need to fix. Carl Landry needs to stay sort of in the groove that he's in right now. Ray McCallum is getting a very good opportunity to solidify himself in the rotation with Ramon Sessions missing yet another game. Tonight, 5 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 of the 5 Kings turnovers. The one thing I'll say about Ray McCallum, he's really struggling with over-dribbling. It's something that we saw in Summer League from him a little bit, but in live action, he's a good defensive player, but he just really pounds the rock, and it's something he needs to figure out. He needs to figure out how to move the ball quicker, but the Kings need him, especially in games like this where Kyrie Irving really, really went off in the first half. You need someone who can change the tempo on the defensive end as well. You need someone who can come in and lock down a high-end offensive score on the perimeter, and they're hoping that Ray McCallum will be that guy. Let's get to our 3 keys to the game. Tonight, team basketball. The Kings played extremely well as far as team basketball. The Cavs did not. The Cavs look a little out of sorts still. LeBron James is missing games. They've added a couple of players this week in J.R. Smith and Timothy Mozgov, both of which started tonight. J.R. Smith was not good at all. Mozgov was quality. He had a quality game. But as far as a team game, the Sacramento Kings are doing something very interesting. We're seeing them figure things out on the defensive end. But again, it's hit and miss, Jekyll and Hyde. We never know what we're going to get out of this team from one game to the next. Tonight, you could see the defensive rotations, especially Kevin Love trying to slow down Kyrie Irving. This team really has only 2 legitimate scorers in the starting lineup right now, unless you consider J.R. Smith, who's just trying to find his way. The Kings rotated all over the place. It's something that, again, we haven't seen from this team since Michael Malone left, and it's a good sign. The second key is resourceful offense. The Cavs are one of the best teams in the league in not allowing free throw attempts. They allow only 18.2 free throw attempts per game. Tonight, the Kings only 17 free throw attempts, and that is usually a staple to a good Kings victory. Kings like to get to the line. They like to do it a lot, but tonight, they really couldn't get to the line. The Cavs just didn't foul, and instead the Kings ran an efficient, effective offense, shooting 48.8% from the field. Again, only 5 turnovers. They really shared the ball. They did a nice job of moving it, and they were efficient without getting to the line, which is, again, something that they typically like to do a lot. Let's get to the third key. The third key is defense. Sacramento Kings did an excellent job on defense tonight. They allowed just 84 points to the Cavs. They didn't allow them to go to the line at all either. Just 12 free throw attempts for the Cavs. DeMarcus Cousins has done a really nice job of limiting his fouls in the last couple of games. Tonight, just 3 fouls for the big man. They did a good job. Again, rotation is something that we'll keep talking about. If this team does their defensive rotations, if they play on a string, as they call it, they have each other's back, then they have a much higher rate of success. Tonight, we saw a very, very good defensive effort out of this team. Again, let's go to our MVP for the night. It can be no one but DeMarcus Cousins. He's just so dominant. Again, 21 double-doubles on the season, and he's missed 10 games. Tonight, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, only 1 turnover, only 3 total fouls. This was a complete game by Cousins. He led the break. He hit outside jumpers. He dominated in the post. It was a really, really good sign. I guess the second guy that we could point to is Rudy Gay. Let's go to Rudy Gay talking about a putback dunk that he had in this game where he threw up a ball, it popped up way up high, and Rudy Gay went in and hammered the ball down right over the top of his own teammate, DeMarcus Cousins.
Was that on Cuz?
Yeah, Cousins.
I made it better. He probably wanted the ball. That's probably why, he was in the way.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show. Again, the Sacramento Kings come away with a 103-84 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. They'll be back on Tuesday night to face off against Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. A big win. It could push them up even closer to that 500 mark. We'll see how it goes. The Kings need to find some consistency. This is the moment to do it before their schedule toughens up a little bit later in the month. So I am James Ham. Thanks for tuning in to the Cowbell Kingdom postgame show.